The Tale of Wizard Elias and the Lost Light. In the very heart of the ancient forest, where trees whispered old secrets and flowers glowed by night, lived a kind wizard named Elias. His home was as cozy as a beehive, built right inside a massive old oak. Soft, golden light spilled from its windows, and a wisp of smoke, smelling of apple pie and magical herbs, always curled from its chimney. Elias was tall, with a long, gray beard that nearly reached his waist, and eyes that shone with kindness, like two fireflies. He wore a hat sprinkled with stars and a long, blue robe embroidered with images of the moon and sun. Every morning, Elias would walk through his domain. He greeted the wise owls perched on branches, tickled the ears of curious hedgehogs, helped lost butterflies find their way home, and healed broken twigs. The animals and birds knew and loved him. When Elias passed by, they didn't hide, instead, they came out to meet him, like old friends. One day, a night arrived that was unlike any other. Usually, when the sun set, the forest filled with the soft glow of fireflies, the shimmer of moonlight, and the sparkle of magical crystals that grew right from the earth. But on this night, the forest plunged into an unusual, unsettling darkness. The fireflies didn't light up, the moon hid behind thick clouds, and even the crystals lost their luminescence. Elias felt it immediately. He stepped out of his house, holding his glowing staff. "What's happened?" he whispered, looking around. The forest was silent, responding only with the rustle of leaves and a strange, oppressive stillness. Suddenly, little Cottontail the Rabbit, small and frightened, darted out from behind a bush. His big ears twitched, and his nose quivered. "Wizard Elias." "Oh dear, squeaked Cottontail, nearly tripping over his own paws. "The whole meadow glade is in darkness. And our burrows too. We can't see anything. We can't find food. My little sister, Lilibet the bunny, is so scared she's hiding under a tree root and crying." Elias lowered his staff. "Don't be afraid, Cottontail. We'll figure this out. Something very unusual has happened to our light." From behind the trees emerged Agatha the Owl, the wisest in the forest. Her feathers were ruffled, and her eyes, usually so piercing, looked bewildered. "Elias, did you feel it?" she hooted in a low voice. "The light, it's gone. Not just the fireflies, but the forest's very magical glow. I've never seen anything like it in all my 100 years. My owlets can't sleep without the starlight." "Neither have I, Agatha," replied the wizard, stroking his beard. "This isn't just clouds or night. This is something much more serious. We must find the source of the light. It is the heart of our forest." At that moment, Prickles the Hedgehog scurried up to them, panting with agitation. His quills stuck out in every direction. "Wizard Elias. Agatha the Owl. You must do something." Prickles puffed. "I almost stumbled into the ravine of forgotten mushrooms. And I only go there during the day to bring my mom the ripest berries. It's so scary without light." "Calm down, Prickles," Elias said softly. "We are already working on a solution. It's important that no one panics." Elias pulled a small, glowing compass from his robe pocket. Its needle spun wildly, but then slowly, reluctantly, it pointed east, towards the furthest and most mysterious corners of the ancient forest, where even the wizard rarely ventured. "It seems our light is located there, beyond the misty marshes," Elias announced. It's a dangerous path, my friends. Few dare to go there. But what are we to do? Cottontail asked, his ears drooping. How will we pass through such dangerous places in this darkness? I'll fly ahead and scout the way, Agatha said confidently. My eyes see better in the dark than yours, though not as well as in the light. And we'll follow you, Agatha, Elias said. My staff will light the way as much as possible. But we need guides on the ground, those who know every stone and every hummock in this forest. Then, Bartholomew the Badger, an old and experienced forest dweller known for his caution and knowledge of all underground tunnels, stepped forward. He was usually a bit grumpy, but now his eyes gleamed with worry. Ahem, ahem, Bartholomew cleared his throat. I know these paths, Elias. I've lived here 100 years. If the light's gone, that's bad news. My underground tunnels are dark too, and I can't find my favorite shovel. I'll go with you, wizard. My paws will find the way, even if nothing at all is visible. Excellent, Bartholomew, Elias said, pleased. Your knowledge will be of great use to us. And me too, squeaked Cottontail, trying to be brave. I can squeeze into the narrowest places and listen to what's ahead. And I can help too, exclaimed Prickles the Hedgehog. I'm small and fast, I can be a scout. Elias smiled. Thank you, my brave friends. Together, we shall prevail. And so, the three friends, Wizard Elias, Agatha the Owl, and Bartholomew the Badger, along with the brave Cottontail and Prickles, set off on their journey. Elias walked in front, lighting the way with his staff, which now shone brighter than usual, as if sensing the importance of the moment. Cottontail and Prickles ran alongside, listening to every rustle, while Bartholomew pointed out where to step, navigating by the smell of the earth and the shape of roots. Agatha flew above them, occasionally hooting, indicating the direction. The path was difficult. They passed through dense thickets of thorny bushes, where usually nightingales sang, but now there was complete silence. The thoughtful nightingales always sang here before, Cottontail whispered. Their songs were so beautiful. Yes, Cottontail, Elias replied. Light isn't just what we see with our eyes. It's also joy, and songs, and warmth in our hearts. They crossed the tangled stream, where the water usually sparkled with millions of tiny lights, but now it was murky and lifeless. Careful, Bartholomew! Agatha called from above. There's an old, slippery stone. I see it, grumbled the badger, deftly avoiding the obstacle. Can't see a thing without light. Good thing I can feel the roots under the ground. They even passed the forgotten stones, where, according to legend, ancient spells were kept, and no slightest glow emanated from there either. We're almost at the misty marshes, Agatha announced. I smell stagnant water and something alien. When they reached the misty marshes, the fog was so thick it felt as though you could touch it. And then Elias saw something extraordinary. In the center of the marshes, where usually an invisible but always tangible source of forest light resided, now stood a gigantic, gray, spiky plant, resembling an enormous burdock. It seemed to be sucking up all the light, making it a prisoner within its gray thorns. What is that? Exclaimed Cottontail, hiding behind the wizard. That looks very ominous, Prickles whispered, pressing close to the badger. I've never seen anything like it, Agatha said, astonished. It's foreign, and evil. A cold emanates from it that chills one to the very feathers. Elias stepped closer. He felt the cold and darkness emanating from this plant. This is the light thief, he said gravely. Ancient magic, forgotten for hundreds of years. It feeds on light and warmth, absorbing it and turning it into nothing. And it has grown much larger and stronger than I could have imagined. He raised his staff, but the gray plant, as if sensing a threat, shot several sharp, dark thorns in his direction. Elias barely managed to dodge them. It's defending itself, Cottontail cried. Yes, Elias confirmed. But we must get our light back. I remembered something important. This light thief is afraid of joy and laughter. It cannot bear pure, unadulterated joy. It's like fire to it. Joy and laughter? Bartholomew repeated, raising an eyebrow. That's quite an unusual way to fight dark magic. Exactly. Elias nodded. Agatha, do you remember the Call of Wind spell? We'll need it to create a constant stream of joyful energy around it. Hoo-hoo, I think I do, the owl mumbled, straining her memory. It won't be easy, Elias. It takes a lot of strength to maintain such a strong wind. I'll help, Agatha, Cottontail offered. I can run around the light thief super fast, creating a whirlwind. My little paws know how to dance with joy. And I'll remember all the funniest stories my badger mother told me and tell them to Prickles, said Bartholomew, and a hint of a smile appeared on his usually serious face. We'll have plenty of laughter. And me, squeaked Prickles. I can tickle the light thief if I can get to it, so it'll laugh. Elias chuckled. Excellent ideas, my brave friends. Agatha, I'll try to distract it with magic, and you fly around it and conjure the strongest, most ticklish breeze. Cottontail, your task is to dance and laugh. As soon as I weaken its defenses, laugh like you've never laughed before. From the bottom of your heart. Bartholomew, tell the funniest stories, let your laughter spread across the entire marsh. And you, Prickles, if you get a chance, tickle it. The rabbit and the hedgehog nodded eagerly. Agatha the owl flapped her wings. Elias began to cast his spell. His staff glowed brighter, and golden sparks flew from it, swirling around the spiky plant, creating a protective vortex. The light thief hissed and tried to release its thorns, but they clashed with the magical vortex. Now, Agatha! Elias cried. The owl, concentrating, began to recite an ancient spell. Invisible currents of air burst from beneath her wings, growing into a light but persistent breeze. The wind began to swirl around the light thief, caressing its thorns, penetrating its tiniest crevices. The plant trembled. It didn't understand what was happening. It was accustomed to struggle, to force, but not to tickling. Now, Cottontail, laugh! Elias shouted, continuing to maintain the vortex. The rabbit took a deep breath and began to laugh. At first, it was a quiet, uncertain giggle, but then he remembered all the funny moments, playing tag with the squirrels, rolling around in the soft grass, popping sweet dewdrops from leaves. And his laughter grew louder, clearer, more genuine. He laughed so contagiously that even Elias couldn't help but smile, and Agatha, continuing to blow, gave a slight hoot of delight. Cottontail's laughter, caught by Agatha's magical breeze, and reinforced by Bartholomew's rumbling chuckles and Prickles' giggles, like thousands of tiny needles, began to pierce the gray plant. The light thief trembled even more. Its gray thorns began to slowly, painfully retract, and its gray color started to fade. The plant shrank, shriveled, like an old balloon losing air. Suddenly, with a loud RRRIP, the light thief burst, crumbling into dust. And at that very instant, from the spot where it stood, an blinding stream of light erupted. It was so bright, so warm, and so beautiful that Cottontail squeezed his eyes shut, and Agatha hooted joyfully. The light surged upwards, illuminating the misty marshes, piercing through the trees, soaring towards the sky. It had returned to the forest. The fireflies instantly lit up with billions of tiny lights, the magical crystals flared, painting the forest in rainbow colors, and the moon emerged from behind the clouds, shining 100 times brighter. The forest came alive, filled with the singing of birds, the rustle of contented animals, and the scent of fresh leaves. "We did it!" exclaimed Elias, his eyes shining with joy. "The light has returned. You were all so brave." Cottontail jumped with happiness. "Hooray! Now we can see. Hooray! And my sister Lilibet won't cry anymore." "Hoo-hoo, good work," Agatha grumbled, landing. "I think I haven't laughed this hard in years. My paws aren't shaking as much anymore." Prickles squeaked happily. "And I want to tickle something else, but only if it's not evil." Bartholomew, rubbing his nose with a paw, chuckled. "I never knew I had a talent for storytelling. The main thing is that the light has returned. I thought I'd never find my shovel again." Wizard Elias hugged the rabbit, patted the owl's head, shook the badger's paw, and gently patted the hedgehog's quills. "Remember, my dears," he said, "even the darkest gloom cannot withstand the light of kindness, friendship, self-belief, and, of course, genuine laughter. Each of you contributed invaluably." They journeyed home, illuminated by the returned light. The forest rustled around them, greeting its saviors. Animals rushed out onto the paths to thank the wizard and his brave helpers. Lilibet the bunny dashed out from under the tree root, saw Cottontail, and hugged him tightly. Back in his cozy home, Elias prepared hot berry tea and delicious apple pie for everyone. Cottontail told all his rabbit friends about his heroic deed, and Agatha gravely confirmed every word, adding wise comments. Bartholomew the Badger solemnly announced that from now on, he would tell his neighbors the funniest story about the bear and the shovel every week, and Prickles the Hedgehog boasted about how bravely he tickled the fearsome plant. And from that night on, light always reigned in the ancient forest. And if anyone ever felt sad, all they had to do was remember the story of Wizard Elias, Cottontail the Rabbit, Agatha the Owl, Bartholomew the Badger, and Prickles the Hedgehog, for a smile to appear on their face and warmth in their heart. For the most powerful magic is that which is born from kindness and friendship.